Welcome to the Massachusetts School of Law's Educational Forum. This program is produced by the Massachusetts School of Law at Andover. Out in Middle America, perhaps an unlikely place for a political battle that can capture the whole nation's attention, the future of the abortion controversy could be taking shape. The place is South Dakota, a small, politically conservative state that hardly anyone considers a bellwether of national trends. Even so, this year it is a battleground state in the abortion wars. There is no question that, 33 years after Roe v. Wade, opponents of abortion are at the peak of their optimism about undoing abortion rights, and they chose the favorable political climate of the nation's heartland to test that optimism. They persuaded the legislature in South Dakota to pass a new law that outlaws almost all abortions. Called the Women's Health and Human Life Protection Act, it declares that abortions in South Dakota will be prohibited. The ban provides that no doctor violates the law by performing an abortion to save the pregnant woman's life, but there are no other exceptions, such as one to allow abortion to protect the pregnant woman's health. The sponsors of the measure specifically intended that it would end up a test case in court, ultimately reaching the United States Supreme Court to test the continuing validity of Roe v. Wade. The law did not take effect as scheduled in July because supporters of abortion rights succeeded in referring it to the state's voters. Only if the measure is approved by a majority in the state on November 7th will the law take effect. And if it is approved, it will immediately be challenged in court by abortion rights groups. This is one of several potential new turning points in the current history of abortion in America. Since there is no chance that abortion will be banned anytime soon by any amendment to the United States Constitution, the future depends on what happens in the federal and state legislatures and in the courts. Another turning point is developing in the United States Supreme Court, where a pair of cases that the court will consider in its new term test the constitutionality of a new federal law that bans a procedure the opponents call partial birth abortion. Not so visibly, conservative legal theorists are mounting a serious challenge to the long-standing idea that courts should follow their own precedents, with a special emphasis on undoing a 1992 decision by that court that basically reaffirmed Roe v. Wade. And although it's a long shot, there is an appeal now pending in the Supreme Court directly asking the court to reconsider the Roe decision. Today we're going to explore these turning points, considering their implications, and try to draw some conclusions about where the abortion controversy is going and what may hold the future for pregnant women. With me for this discussion are two individuals who've been here before to discuss this ongoing controversy. Lynn Paltrow, who is Executive Director of the National Advocates for Pregnant Women and one of the nation's most influential activists on women's rights, and Lyle Denniston, a veteran Supreme Court reporter who appears frequently on these programs and writes for a website